Welcome back to another episode of We Repair Video Game Accessories. I had a customer who came in wanting us to fix a Guitar Hero guitar, and in his wired one, which is great for playing Clone Hero, he is saying that these push button switches, which are usually they're push buttons in a mechanical keyboard, and I guess they're not hitting as accurately as he'd like them to. So we are going to desolder from these 2 points and replace it with a little bit more clicky ones. Yeah, these are a little softer, maybe played out quite a bit. More clicky and fresh ones from an official Guitar Hero Les Paul guitar to the what I call the Iceman Jagstang guitar. So here we go. Okay, for this repair, it's best to first detach the power lead cables going to the battery compartment. Set that to the side. Okay. And the whammy bar can be kind of a headache. If your strap holder pops out, it's no problem. That goes right back into place. Set that to the side. And maybe set it on a raised surface so the whammy bar hangs off the side. Alright, we're going to be heating up our 2 leads here. You've got your up and down. They're the same. They're the same. It doesn't matter as long as you don't reverse the polarities. We're going to heat this up. Use a solder sucker. This should be a fairly simple fix. And again, you can use switches out of a mechanical keyboard, but my friend wanted to use authentic Red Octane Guitar Hero switches. So it's just switching from one guitar to another. And so I got most of the excess solder off. And I like to heat them up and make sure the leads are separate on the board. So just to make sure those are loose off of there. And that should be fairly cut and dry. They should just wiggle right out of there. Okay, they're still kind of attached a little bit. Maybe apply some pressure while you heat them up. Steady hands is part of this job. I don't always have steady hands. You have to calm yourself, ground your energy, and focus, and then you're able to achieve what you're set out to do, what your purpose is. So we got one off there. That's the positive. Apply a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pulling force while you heat up the contacts, just to make sure everything breaks loose. Alright, and there we go. Switches on this one were bent over, probably to hold them in place before adding solder. And I had to drill out this bracket that was around the 2 switches so that I could pull this off. So Now I'm gonna take my screwdriver and we're gonna soften the solder here. I'm just gonna set it in the bracket to hold it in place. We're gonna soften our solder up a little bit so that we can straighten these. Alright. Same here. And we're just straightening our pins out. Not necessarily pushing them through because we don't want any contact issues. So we're straightening them up so that a solder sucker can go over them. Alright, now we'll take our solder sucker and soften the solder. That should do pretty well. Pulls out real easy. Alright, so we want nice clean contact points. That one just about fell out of there. So they should, yeah, that one did fall out of there. So we just want clean contact points so they come out straight away. Now we will take our other switches. Got one there. And this one's extra clicky. Push them through, and I'll go ahead and bend them over to hold them in place like the other ones were. Not all the way, I don't want anything to break. Just enough to hold it in place. Alright, let's find our other switch. It's extra clicky. Put those in place. Maybe slide our bracket down over it to hold them in place. Nice and secure. Fully soldered. This one is a little flared out from where I had to drill it out because we had a stripped screw. Just push that in place. Go get our screws. Grounded Condor, this is Eagle. We got everything almost ready for our electronic band set up.
Yeah, all good, buddy.
And then we'll get work on the real guitars for our actual mechanical oriented band.
Yeah, we working on some real guitars now?
In just a few, I think we got a Les Paul, needs some work. Alright, we got our bracket in place, and I'm just using these short screws with the flares on them. We'll go ahead and screw that together. I'll put these two in and then do the solder work.
Hello there, mateys. Reporting in. 5252.
Alright, we're going to do our solder work now. I know my solder points are sloppy. This is the bigger gauge solder because we're a creative environment around here, and stuff is everywhere. We're working on organization, but it's maybe a
Clean up on all three. Clean up on all three. Reporting.
breaker 19. We got perpetrator at the door. But it's maybe a broken or askew ideology, but they say that Einstein never let cleaning get in the way of his genius. So in a creative, organized chaos environment, you can usually just reach around at whatever inspires you or whichever fills the purpose. So, as long as all the necessary tools are available to you. Looks like good, decent solder work. Everything's real good and clicky here, so that when we do our strumming, yeah, everything's good and clicky. I'm gonna put the 4 longer screws in the corners over here. Something's not fitting just right. Usually if you have to force it, then something may be off. Looks like our cables might be in the way. It's together. So we're awesome sticker work. The Ace of Spades. We're gonna go hook this up, test it with a game, see how everything came out. Yeah, it's hot after you do that, by the way.